Hey, what's up guys? It's Art Book Addiction here, and we're here with a new artist rant video. So today, we're going to be ranting about artists who don't grow, okay? So this is a more subtle aspect to art, but there are a lot of artists who like to play it safe, right? They have found their style, right? People like it, people enjoy it. It gets them the likes they desire, but their art looks the same as it was maybe like 10 years ago. Okay, and it's a very, like I said, very subtle things. It's hard to detect, okay, but it's one of the biggest complaints I have for a lot of artists, especially artists who are more successful, right? They just don't want to experiment, they don't want to grow as artists, they don't want to find their true voice, and in the long run, it holds them back, okay? So that's what we'll be talking about today, but before we start the video, please hit that like, hit that subscribe, check out my prints and Patreon if you want to support the channel, and consider becoming a channel member, okay? And with that, let's get into it. Okay, so first, I want to address something that I don't know if you guys will notice or anything, but, you know, just in case, basically, right? So, I might be a little stiff right now, okay, because I think, like, minor whiplash, right? I had, like a couple days ago, I almost got into a car accident, like really close, okay, but I was able to swerve out of the way, right? Because this idiot, you know, he was pulling out and like just, he didn't look where he was going, okay, right? So if I'm a little stiff in my neck movement, you guys probably don't even notice, then that's the reason why, okay? So with that out of the way, let's really talk about it. Okay, so artists who don't grow, okay? This is like a more approachable version for this is, well, that's my style, okay? Oh, that's my style. That's the common excuse people will give to, you know, maybe bad anatomy, like, problems with composition, you know, like any like color, you know, lack of like color knowledge, right? There's a lot of good excuses for these people, which is usually like, oh, that's my style, that's the way I draw, right? Oh, that's the way I do this, that's the way I do that. And like, that is a common answer to the thing, right? And, you know, they justify it with maybe a follower count, you know, maybe like, oh, that's what people like, you know what I mean? That's the way I like it, right? And it ignores the bigger problem, which is that, you know, artists should be continually growing and growing, okay? They should always strive to become better, right? And truer to themselves, okay? And, you know, that's hard, right? That's hard. That's a hard proposition for artists because, you know, art is a business, right? A brand, you know? And a lot of people, like, they like their brand a certain way. You know, they want their brand to be this way, you know, but the artist should not be constrained by the outside forces, okay? The artist should only consider what they believe in themselves, okay? Right? And, you know, it's a lot, like I said, a lot of pressure, right? I'm not saying it's an easy thing. I'm not saying like, hey, you know, just change your style completely, right? But there's a difference between like growing subtly and being rigid, okay, right? And like, you know, you could change things as like something simple like subject matter, okay, or like different type of medium, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna experiment with this approach that I've never tried before, you know, and I want to see how it works, see how it improves my art, right? So like the way you want to view your art is kind of like your machine, okay, like your vehicle, right? And you use this vehicle to get from A to B, right? From the start to the finish, okay, right? So when you're doing that, you don't want to use the same components every time, right? But you don't want to get rid of your car, okay? That's fine. You don't want to get rid of it, you know? You use that car all the time. It works, it gets you the results you like, right? And, you know, creates a finish that you like, right? But sometimes I think it's important to try out new parts, okay? Like if you're like an ink artist, right? And you're like, oh, I've tried like this type of hatching and I really like it. You know, it's like, hey, maybe try another type of hatching, right? But keep everything else the same. Keep the rest of the framework you keep the same, right? And then, you know, over time, as more drawings, more paintings, more art is created, you could start swapping out parts, and you're like, and you could be confident in that. You could be like, okay, well, like, I know everything else works. I'm gonna try out this new like wheel, this new type of wheel. You know, it's like Mario Kart, right? You want to find new combinations. You want to always be experimenting, okay? Like, you don't want to throw out everything. You could use an iterative process because it's safe but also experimental, okay? Because I, like, you know, like I myself, you know, I wouldn't want to throw out everything that I know and just go, woo, 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 I'm gonna just go, woo, you know? That's dumb, right? But to just use the same parts, the same vehicle every single time, right? To know your weaknesses, okay, and to never address them. That's the problem, dude. That's the problem. That's a lack of confidence, okay? That's like and a lack of the need to grow, okay? The need to grow should be something that an artist holds very deeply, okay, and keeps within them, all right? Because growth, that's number one, dude. Like, why do artists keep going, okay? Why do artists draw for like 100 years in their life? You know what I mean? It's to keep growing, to keep innovating, so that you could reach the highest peak possible, right? To explore what other people haven't seen, right? And maybe even usher in like a whole new era of art, right? And I'm not saying that you need to be that, okay? You don't need to be that, right? But you want to go in that direction, okay? Because you never know. You never know what's gonna happen, okay? And that's what keeps art beautiful. It's experimental. It's creative, okay? If you become too rigid in your art, it becomes commonplace. And then you lose the discovery aspect, right? And then you lose inspiration, right? So, like, you know, at first it's like, yeah, okay, and then you start becoming jaded, and you're like, well, I'm doing the same thing again. I'm doing the same thing again, okay? And, you know, good artists, bad artists, every artist can suffer from this, okay? An example of an artist you probably wouldn't think that would feel this way, okay? Norman Rockwell, okay? I've read his entire book, okay? You know, the Journey of an Artist. I can't remember what it was exactly the name was, but you know the book, okay? In it, he talks about how one of the biggest regrets he has as an artist at the end of his life was that he didn't experiment more, was that he didn't try to evolve himself that much. He played it safe. And you know what, dude? He's at the highest level, okay, of artistry, and like so many people admire him, and you know, I admired him, but he himself felt that his work was lacking because he didn't try to break his own mold, right? That he was locked within his own confines. You know what I mean? And so it's just, that's so disappointing. And you know, it hurts. Honestly, as an artist, it hurts me because I'm like, Norman, like, you're so good, you know, but like even artists that at that level can experience that, okay? And you know, like, and he talks about other artists. He's like, yeah, dude, I've seen so many artists, like, they've changed styles, they've changed mediums, they've grown so much, and they became whole different artists. And like, and I admire that so much, but I couldn't do it because I was like, you know, I was afraid, you know. And a lot of choices that are made in fear are often the wrong one, okay? Right? The fear exists. You must push against it. You must break through it, okay? And this is like artistic fear, okay? I'm not talking about like, you know, other shit. You know, this is like, you know, you go into the hood, you know, maybe you should be a little scared. You know, you go into a bad neighborhood, maybe you should be a little scared. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about like real life shit, okay? Right? I'm talking about artist stuff, okay? So just want to put that disclaimer there, right? And so, how do these things manifest themselves? Okay, so here's a common thing I often see, right? This is another complaint. I was gonna make a whole video about this, but I didn't feel like it was big enough to warrant an entire video, right? But there's a lot of artists who are black and white artists, okay? Ink artists, okay? Guess what, dude? What's their number one fear? What is a black and white artist's number one fear, dude? What's an ink artist's number one fear, okay? Color, okay? Color is like why? Like, why are you scared of color? Color so wonderful. It's like, to me, it's like one of the best aspects of art, okay? And so many people are so scared of it, okay? They're like, okay, monotone, dude. Oh, I just use two colors, right? Okay, and like they're so frightened of it. And there's so many people who are really high level and are still scared of color, okay? And it just, it confounds me, okay? And I'm like, dude, you're so good at making these beautiful, like, intricate drawings, okay? And like that like, even I would be like, I couldn't do that, right? And yet the second like 3 colors comes in, okay, the second like more than a couple colors come in, they shatter, okay? They're afraid, okay? And I'm like, don't be afraid of color, because that could evolve you so much, okay? Right? That like, it could, there's so, like, black and white is just 2 colors, right? Think if you added the entire spectrum and then you got good at it, okay? Like, wow, okay? And you know what, dude? Right? As someone who is more shape, right? And, what do you call it? Color-based myself, right? Guess what? What did I do? I practiced line. I practiced with ink. And you know what, dude? I'm not, like, super good at it. But you know what, dude? I got way better, okay? I started off horrible, so bad, okay? Really, really bad with it, okay? But I worked at it. I got better at it, you know? And, like, like, I spent a lot of my artist teaching, or not teaching, like my school days, okay, working on my weaknesses, working on things that I didn't want to work on, okay, working on the things that I was afraid of, okay? And guess what, dude? It improved my painting immensely, okay? Right? I knew that I had talent in painting. I knew that I like paint and like shape, right? Really good at that stuff, right? Like, it is a natural inclination of mine, right? So what was my not natural inclination? The opposite. Line, okay? Right? Drawing, okay? You know, I was okay at drawing. You know what I mean? I worked in high school, so, like, you know, it's like, drawing is okay, but like, design, okay? I was horrible at design. You know, making characters, I couldn't draw a fucking cartoon, right? But now I got those skills, and guess what, dude? Now I'm an artist with, you know, very few weaknesses, okay? Right? And, you know, I have strengths, you know what I mean? Like I said, color, what do you call it? Color, shape, right? You know, and another thing that I was weak with was, like, abstraction, right? I always took things too literally, right? I could never, like, I had a real problem. Like, I would see, like, paintings that would be, like, a little bit more abstract. I'm like, how do they do that? How do they get that effect, right? And you know what? So what did I do? I practiced it, okay? I learned about it. I got better at it, okay? I'm not saying, like, oh, you know, like, look at me, I'm the best artist, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I'm trying to show you that the desire to grow has its benefits, okay? And that you come out on the other side a better artist, okay? And, like, that's what you want, okay? You don't want to stay in your same little box, okay? So, like, you know, and that's what often leads to people feeling so disenfranchised with their work, feeling so like, oh, you know, like, I've done it, you know, that's it, that's all there is to art, you know, like, like, and I'm like, you haven't even solved, like, you think you solved art, okay? You're just giving up, okay? You just, like, you're not no genius, okay? The genius never gives up. The genius always continues to innovate, to go forward, and to be like, hey, you know, I've reached a dead end here, I gotta find a way to go around that wall, to go under the wall, to go over the wall, right? There is always a way to grow, okay? And the best artists never stop growing, okay? And so that's what you want, dude. That's what you want to do. This is the artist journey. It's the lifelong journey, okay? So you gotta keep going. You gotta keep pushing, okay? So, like, don't let your style, don't let your fear control what you make, okay? Always find a way to grow. And you know what, dude? I've seen artists, like, who, like were very fearful, very scared, okay? Very scared artists, artists who, like, were sometimes downright stubborn to grow, okay? And they've done it, okay? I've seen, like, here's a story, right? I remember, I saw this artist, I'm not gonna name them, right? I had a teacher who I really respected, okay? And, like, he's, like, the nicest guy, all right? Like, really, really kind. He is, but he he's like the perfect critiquer, okay, right? He will just like he'll be very gentle, okay? He'll give you compliments, right? He'll give you the compliment sandwich, and then he'll give you the critique in the middle, okay, the meat, right? And he like no one ever complained about his critiques, right? And they always felt like his critiques were apt, okay? And I also felt like that way, right? But there was a student who, like, you know, he was like, hey, you know, you need to, like basically she did something where it didn't really follow the assignment, okay, right? And he was like, hey, you know, you need to follow the assignment, right? Like, you know, and then like she's like, but that's my style, you know? And it's like, yeah, but that's not what this class is about. This class is about, you know, drawing this way, you know, drawing more realistic, okay? It's not about character design, it's about designing character, right? So you need to be more, literal in your interpretation, okay, right? And they're like, but it's my style, you know? It's like, and like, they're like, and, you know, like, he's this really nice guy. So I'm like, are you really gonna make this teacher, the one of the nicest teachers I know, right? Like you don't make him like say like have to repeat himself and have to like make you understand what the assignment is, right? And then like, you know, and then eventually, you know, like they didn't even like get into an argument. She just like broke down and started crying, right? Because it wasn't what he wanted, right? And it's like dude, like it's literally the assignment, like what is there to explain? Like why you like that? You know what I mean? And honestly, like I was really angry at this person. Okay, I was really angry at this person because I'm like how dare you? Like how dare you make this teacher feel this way? And like he felt bad, he felt awkward, you know, but it's like you know, it's like you shouldn't like that, like it's so like easy to understand, okay, right? So this is artists, okay, right? Fast forward a couple years, okay, right? And, you know, I didn't really have the best opinion of this artist, okay? I really didn't, okay? But you know what, dude? Like, I saw what they were drawing now, okay? At that point. And I was so surprised, okay? I was so, like my mind blew. To me, I'm like, this person can't make it, dude. This person is like they're never gonna have the right mindset. They're never gonna find the way to get to what they need to, right? They're never gonna grow, okay? Because they have that bad, like, it's my style mindset, okay, right? But by the end, okay, right, this was like near the last semester, I saw their artwork, right? And it wasn't like amazing or anything, right? It wasn't like whoa, dude, you're like expert now, right? You're like good. But I'm like, what I saw was growth, okay? What I saw was, I think that they themselves realized that, like, hey, these things I'm weak on, and I need to work on them, okay? And I need to, like, whether I'm, like, you know, crying or whatever, or like you know, like, I need to, like, find within myself to make these changes, to find that growth. And you know what, dude? They did it. And you know what? Like, that really changed my mind, okay? Because I was someone very staunch, okay? Right? And I'm willing to admit that. I was very staunch. I was very elitist, right? I'm like if you can't produce anything good, like, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna be, like, you know, a good artist, right? And this person, like, who I thought so lowly of, right? Like, they presented work that I actually was like, that's good. Like I'm like, wow, you know? And so it's possible for anyone to grow, okay? Even the worst person, okay? And you know, often it's the better artists who become rigid and like stuck in their ways, okay? Right? So if you're not so good, right, then that's actually good for you, because now you're like, well, I'm not good. So you're much more willing, you're more open to learning, okay? It's like when a kid is young, right? And they're like the whole world is like, oh shit, dude, I don't know nothing, dude. And so when it comes at them, they absorb it, okay? They decide to learn. They decide, like, you know what, dude? Like, I gotta figure this shit out, right? And it's often the more experienced artists, okay? The people who are like, right? Like I would, you know, sometimes, like, in like myself in some ways, right? You know, they become rigid, they become like stuck, you know, and it's like, this is the way I do it, and I'm never gonna change it, right? And this is my style, right? And I'm like, that's horseshit, okay? That is BS, okay? And if you're an artist like that, dude, okay, you need to re-examine your work, okay? Look at it as a whole, right? Look at your old drawings, right? Look at your new drawings. Are they the same? Are they the same kind of finish? Are they the same kind of style, right? Has there, like, even, like, and you can look at the very subtle things, right? If you improved, hey, good for you, you know? But maybe you'll look at it, you'd be like, wow, like, I didn't really, like, even if I did change, I didn't really change much. They're like there's not that much growth here, you know, over these years, right? And I want you to take a look at your work and be like, you know, there is something missing. You know, I would have thought that I would have grown a lot more, right? Like, a lot of people, like, they grow in their early years, and then later on they stop, you know, and then they're like, okay, well, I've figured it out, you know, I found success, right? And then their art just becomes stale, okay? Right? And it's like, oh, I've seen it before, I've seen it again, you know, people eat it up like, oh yeah, I love it, and it's like, well, I like, you know, I think at the very least other artists are gonna see that, like, hey, dude, you know, your art is great, seen it, okay, but I've seen it, all right? It's like a comedian doing the same bit again and again, okay? And people are like, oh, dude, I recognize that bit, dude, you know? And it's like, but the person, the comedian is not growing, okay? You know what I'm saying, right? So, please, if you have this issue, okay? If you don't think that you have this issue, re-examine yourself, right? And please try to make that change, to take that step to grow, okay? And, you know, maybe change your medium, okay? That's a often good way to shock the system, and then, like, you have to get good again, right? You know, try different technique, you know, or try the iterative process, like I said, you know, just switch out the parts, right? Find the best combination, right? And then keep it going, keep changing parts, find something new, find a new technique, right? Learn from other artists, learn from artists who don't even participate in what you're doing, right? And you can take all that knowledge, combine it, make it yours, okay? And then that will make you a better artist, okay? And that's what we really want, right? That's the real goal of the artist journey, okay? Sorry about that noise, but it's to grow. Is someone, like, stealing a car? I don't know what the hell. Anyway, so please, right? The more experienced artists, okay? Like, I need this from you guys, okay? Because you guys, you're leading the pack, dude. You're setting the ways for other people, okay? You want to grow. You want to change things up. You want to, like, hey, you're stiff, become looser. You're loose, become, like, more structured, okay? Right? The thing that you like the most, do the opposite, okay? And work on those weaknesses. Make those weaknesses, like, stronger and stronger, so that those things can grow, okay? And become the artist you're truly meant to be, okay? And the artist that you're gonna become, okay? Right? Again, the cycle continues. You grow more, you become better, and you should never stop striving that to the end of your day. So the day that you die, you want to be reaching, okay? Because that's how true greatness is achieved, all right? But yeah, I think we can end the video here, guys. Please, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like, hit that subscribe, check out my Prince and Patreon if you want to support the channel, and consider becoming a channel member, okay? Ring that bell for notification, all that bullshit, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks a lot.